Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Two Footballs podcast. This is episode 2. I am your host today, Spencer, along with my co-host, William. William, how you doing, man?
Hey. Oh, I'm doing just fine and dandy, my man.
It's another night of recording these at pretty much midnight or 1 a.m. So this is our second episode. If you haven't seen last week's episode, please go watch it. I feel like we are the only ones that click on it, um, which is sad, but it's all right. Humble
I th-
beginnings, as they call it.
uh-huh.
So this week we'll be going over the Premier League match day 33 and 34. We didn't watch all the games because the United States is done with the Premier League and you have to pay if you want to watch them all. And we might be talking about the one NFL news that came out this week.
But yeah. Plus, I'm not gonna wake up at 6 in the morning to watch Brighton versus Norwich. Okay, it's not
Yeah,
on a
anyway.
Saturday.
Yeah, so let's just get started right with that. July 4th, America Day, as they call it here. Norwich City and Brighton Hove Albion at 6 in the fucking morning played a 1-0 win for Brighton. And oh man, just what an absolute
I mean,
shite game.
uh, it was July 4th and the fireworks were on. Tell you what, I mean, just back and forth, beautiful football. No one cares, okay?
Let's just get this out the way now. No one cares. Norwich are going
Norwich
down.
is going down.
Brighton are
Brighton's
finishing like mid-table.
Brighton's essentially safe. They're 15th right now, but they're like 8 points off of relegation with 4 to go. They're fine. No one
And
cares.
And I would say it's like, oh well, Norwich still have hope, but they literally don't. If you watch the end of the game, because I woke up and I caught the very end of the game, like after the final whistle was blown, and the whole rest of the day from that game, they would show the goal, and then they immediately show after the final whistle. All the Norwich guys just put their heads down, and they were like, "We're done. We lose. We're out."
Yeah, they
We
look like they're at a funeral. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I mean, we said we were like, "Well, this is if Norwich don't win this game, they're going down." And it looked like as soon as they were done, it this was like, "It's time. We're done."
which is a shame. I feel like they've got a lot of good young players. They just haven't put it together like at all. So,
Right, and it's kind
def
of tough, it's a first year back. And you're kind of.
I can't really say they deserve better, but
Well, the thing is that they keep
they
all that talent, they're gonna go down and then right back up, I
right
bet.
back up. But keeping it will be difficult because big clubs are lurking, trying to steal off those good players.
That is true. But yeah, there's not much to talk about with this game. Norwich obviously are going down, and Brighton, as we said, are gonna pretty much finish around the lower half of the mid table. But the next game was pretty big. Um, Leicester
Yeah,
City, a now basically a top 6 team, demolished Crystal Palace. To be fair.
yeah. All three goals came in the second half, and it was pretty slow going to begin. But Crystal Palace never even registered a shot on target, so it's like Leicester controlled it throughout pretty easily.
Yes. So, well, they recorded one shot on target, but one shot on target still isn't good. And one of the Leicester goals was in the 90th plus 4 minute, which actually that was Jamie Vardy's 100th goal in the Premier League.
Oh, I saw his nice little trophy, the little silver fox.
Yes, and I just want to say, for Vardy being 33 years old, you would think he's been playing in the Premier League for a while, but he hasn't. I mean, he's been here for a little bit, but I mean, a boy who came from, or I wouldn't say a boy, he was a grown ass man by the time he came from Fleetwood to
Yeah,
Leicester, and he just immediately turns around and starts banging them in.
yeah. He's. I mean, he's one of the best stories. I mean, I love Vardy. Guy's a guy's a real shithouser, but I love him. He's great.
And right, and like other than Vardy, this is a big win for Leicester because they were slipping out of the top four. They hadn't had a win since the restart, so this was good for them to get back on track. And for Palace, it doesn't mean much again. It's another one of those games where you think it means a lot for one team, and then the other team you realize they literally probably bowed their heads and were like, just take the dub.
Yeah.
But it was a 3-0 win for Leicester. Vardy now, I'm trying not to. Vardy is at the top of the Premier League scorers list. He's
Mhm.
got a 2-goal cushion to PEA, but that also could come from some later games. But I think Vardy's gonna get the Golden Boot at this rate.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I. Yeah. I really don't see, especially the way that he's going right now. I mean, not like scoring hat tricks for fun, but I mean he's getting a goal here and there every game. So
And consistency is key,
yeah,
As long
I
as he
don't see
scores
why.
every game, he's gonna win it from here out.
I mean, yeah, the record for consecutive games scored in, right? So I
Right,
mean,
and
he's really keeps it going
that's
game
another
after
thing
game.
about a lot of these games. Whenever we're at this point in the season, getting to the match day 33s and 34s as we're at, for most of them we talked about in the last one, the games don't matter for other teams. So like Crystal Palace probably doesn't have much to play for. Although they showed a little bit of a difference of that in the Chelsea game, but some games are going to talk about for like 5-10 minutes, and games like Norwich and Brighton we were going to talk about for like two, not even maybe. But
Yeah.
Leicester got a big 3-0 win. That propelled them. Well, that kept them third at the
Kept-
time,
Now they're fourth,
and now they're
but
fourth. But maybe they
getting
can
ahead of
still hang
ourselves.
on to that Champions League spot.
Should be massive, especially with the coronavirus stuff. And a lot of the finances are going to be really weird. Getting European football at all, much less Champions League, could be massive.
Right, and speaking of European football, another team that has been on fire since the restart and is aiming for it, Man United, they just kept
Yeah.
going.
How in the hell did they draw with Spurs? What is? I mean, look at this. They demolished Bournemouth. I mean, Harry Maguire's okay. Harry Maguire's shite. That's why they drew with Spurs. But other than that, they've. I mean,
Maguire. First off, Maguire and De Gea have had shocking restarts.
oh yeah,
It's just that everyone else around them has
their
played
attack
like, yeah. Mason Greenwood
lights out.
is one of the best young talents. I mean, he got 2 goals in this game. Rashford got one, and Martial and Bruno got the other two.
Hmm.
Um, but still, like, this has been an absolutely. I didn't expect this out of Man United. I expected Man United to come back out and be a little
I mean,
weak-footed,
yeah.
but this has been
N-
outstanding.
And we did call it. We did say it'd be United trying to get their goal difference up, seeing how many goals they can put past them. And they yeah, they definitely did. They put five past them.
They did, and I mean, Bournemouth got two, which just kind of shows that there's still a little bit of defensive frailty in Man United. But I mean, what team in the Premier League doesn't have defensive frailty other than Liverpool? Um, but for Bournemouth, this is definitely a tough time for them because they're a team that I don't want to see go down.
Yeah.
They have a great story of how they got up, but I mean,
It's
after today's result, it's a little different. But after this result, everyone started thinking, okay, maybe
yeah, they're probably
maybe it's
going
their
down.
time because teams
3
above
points
them,
off Watford.
yeah, the teams above them are kind of getting a little bit
Hmm.
of leeway. Um, but it's looking like this is maybe the end of the road for Bournemouth.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, their upcoming run of games is not ideal. They play Leicester, then they played Manchester City before Southampton and Everton to finish it out. So
And
not
yeah,
the kindest schedule either. So
yeah, and it's just gonna be tough for them. Man United though, absolute cupcake of a schedule to finish out the year. They got
yeah,
they
Man
got
United are
Southampton, Palace, West Ham, and they also got to play Chelsea in there, and then they got Leicester City, and Chelsea's in the FA Cup.
yeah.
I mean, other than Leicester, no one they should be losing to. It's a lot of relegation candidates and a lot of mid-table guys, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with Man United if they can even muster enough points. Because at the rate it goes, if Chelsea and Leicester City win out, the only way Man United gets it is if Man City's transfer ban holds up.
Yeah, I think another thing that kind of maybe an underrated thing to look at, even though like their schedule's relatively easy, they play Southampton, which I mean, sneaky good team, I guess. Like they beat City. Uh, and then just 3 days later they play Palace, and then 3 days later they got to play Chelsea in the FA Cup, and then what? 3 days later again they play West Ham, and then what? 4 days later they play Leicester. Like the run in is they don't have much break. They're gonna have to rotate players because it's gonna be pretty tiring playing 3 days apart consistently for the final. What they've got 4 games and one in the FA Cup.
Right, and it could be kind of difficult, but I think if anyone's going to be able to do it, Man United's got a pretty deep attack, and that's the only thing they have to seem to worry about nowadays. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if they sub people out in their defensive area, it still should be fine. But
Yeah,
it's
they're looking to win games 4-3 apparently.
but it
So
was a big win for Man United, and they
yeah,
moved at the time ever so closer to that European spot till some later games happened. Which moving on to the next one, another battle that frankly we'll just say it now. We both got it wrong because we thought Arsenal were
I
gonna
yeah
get shat on, or not get
thought
shat
Arsenal
on,
were
but
done. But
um,
I picked Wolves, or either Wolves or a draw. That's what I was thinking.
right. And it
And
turns out that Arsenal decided to play like some prime Arteta ball, and I don't know. I thought Agent David Luiz was gonna screw him there with the yellow card. I was really ready for Agent to get him there, but um, yeah, Arsenal won 2-0 against Wolves, which this is a big result for Arsenal and kind of scary for Wolves because, well, I guess it isn't scary now, but for Wolves, this is definitely something that it could have helped propel them even more than they are right now. They could have been level on points with Man United with this as a win, but they did lose. Bukayo Saka, who I think is another great, absolute beautiful young talent in England.
yeah, I think Arsenal really were they had themselves in prime position to take over for Wolves, like at least get Europa League. You know, maybe start battling up there to get Champions League if Man City's ban is upheld. And they only need fifth. But I think their run-in of their schedule at the end of the season is going to keep them from going too much higher up the table, unless they surprise me and really come out swinging. But I mean, their run-in is really tough.
Right, and
They already played Leicester, which 1-1 draw. Then they got a North London derby, Tottenham, Liverpool, and then they got Man City.
that's got to be really rough for Arsenal. They're pretty much probably their last chance of getting points is against Tottenham after today. Um,
They got Aston Villa and Watford too.
that's not that bad. But back to Bukayo Saka, he got his first Premier League goal in this game, and I had a stat in mind, but I forgot it. But he's a great young talent.
I think he leads Arsenal in assists.
Maybe
I'm
so.
not sure. Oh, I think it might be something like that. He leads Arsenal in assists.
Oh yeah, by the way, something
Or
interesting posted on Twitter today.
mhm.
Someone in the Arsenal squad missed out on the game today, or not today, a few days ago against Watford, as their wife was having a baby. Well, 8 months prior to that, they won in the Europa League against what was that team? Not Olympiacos, Vitoria Guarmes.
Mhm.
That was the time when they scored in like the 80th and the 90th point. It was Nicolas Pepe, wasn't it? Pepe had a kid, I think. Yeah, 'cause he didn't play. He didn't play in the game, and everyone started
Nine
retweeting it and saying, "Oh yeah, well Pepe went home right after and just banged his
knocked up his
wife."
wife. Yeah, that's not uncommon. Yeah, a lot of players 9 months after Champions League finals having kids. I guess levels to this. I guess Arsenal's doing it after beating.
A team
Uh,
that you
I,
hadn't heard of till they
I've
made them
never
play
heard
in the
of.
Super
Yeah,
League. Um, but yeah, it was a big win for Arsenal.
but good on him. Yeah,
Yeah, it was good on the guy. Happy winning a kid now. But it was a big win for Arsenal. And then the prime time for me hit the prime time game.
prime
Chelsea was
time.
playing Watford. I was gonna shit the bed if Chelsea lost. But they didn't. They were stunning. Dominate possession. They got 21 total shots, 9 were on target. They only let Watford have 3 on target, which
Christian
is
Pulisic, baby.
yeah. And Christian Pulisic is having
Captain America.
an absolutely amazing season or restart, I guess, not season, but yeah, Chelsea won 3-0. I feel like they pretty much dominated the game to a point where in the 76th minute they subbed off 4 dudes and brought 4 dudes on. So if you do that, you're pretty much dominating a game.
You know,
Pulisic didn't score and he didn't get an assist, but That being said, he was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, easily. I mean, Christian, I'm in love with him. I'm gonna marry him. I'm gonna kiss him on the lips. He's such a good. I mean, everything he does, I just yes. I wasn't really happy when he went to Chelsea because it's Chelsea, but the
Fine if he
fact
does
that
well.
I'm fine if Chelsea does well if it's through Christian Pulisic, and it has been lately. He's running shit. I mean, he really is.
Yeah, and I mean Chelsea. This pretty much propelled him to eventually get into the top three now of the English Premier League. But not only was I impressed with Pulisic, other than his free kicks, William played a great game. Um, I hope they offer him a new contract because if they let him go, they're letting a pretty good winger walk who has some veteran experience that even
Yeah,
though he won't start next year, he'll be behind either Werner, Pulisic. Um, I still think he would get enough playing time to justify like a decent contract.
yeah. The only thing I would say is if he stays, he take away the number 10, give it to Christian, baby.
He'll get it one day. Christian Pulisic will get it one day, but you got to earn the number 10 shirt. Having a good
I think
restart is good and all, but it's not enough yet. Win the Premier League title, and there's your number 10.
right, but
It could get it actually. If Willian leaves, he's definitely getting it. But if
if
Willian stays,
I mean, who else could have it? Willian? Come on, come on,
well,
come on.
Willian actually used to be 22 too,
Yeah,
so
but
they
now
could
he's
just trade jerseys.
10.
But anyway, that game ended 3-0 for Chelsea. Chelsea took a big step towards Champions League football. Watford took another step towards, I guess, close to the relegation zone. They're one spot above it, 3 points ahead right now. So maybe they can string together some wins. I know they just won their last game that we'll cover later. Um, but Watford look like they've got a guy who knows how to keep teams safe. So maybe they'll be able to stay in. I think they actually will.
Yeah, I think they. I think yeah.
But
I think
if you thought we didn't get sleep on the day before July 4th or the night before, try July 5th because people were out popping fireworks till 12 in the freaking morning, not
yeah.
letting me sleep. So I missed the Burnley Sheffield United game entirely.
The
But
best thing is guessing whether or not they're gunshots or fireworks.
right, that's a big part of it too. But anyway,
But this game, it's a real snooze fest when it's the two center backs from each team getting goals. I mean, I mean, sure, it came in the 80th minute. John Egan scored for Sheffield, but center,
not a lot happened when there was no yellow cards either.
yeah, you can. It's it's definitely an interesting game. Sheffield and Burnley aren't exactly lighting the world on fire, but they're doing well enough to be in the conversation for, you know, good teams, solid teams. But I'm not gonna wake up at 6 in the morning after 4th of July
And try to
to
watch this game.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a game that frankly it doesn't matter to either team again. Burnley are pretty much going to probably stay mid-table unless every team above them keeps losing, and Sheffield are probably just going to miss that European spot, it looks like, since their restart was terrible.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate for Sheffield because they were doing so well before the before the break, and then they kind of got shafted by that.
But it's good for Chris Wilder's side to promote themselves and then stay in the league, and hopefully next year that can
Yeah.
allow them to make some money and then splash it on some players that'll do nothing for them, and then eventually go down because that's the way the Premier League works,
Yeah,
sadly.
they're looking like they're about to. If they miss out on European football, I'd say they're gonna get relegated next year. I mean, that's just how it works, isn't it? Like,
It's a cycle because Watford were up there a few years ago in European
mhm,
football, and look at them now.
that's just how it works. That's just how it goes. If they miss out on it on European football, I
Down they
think
go.
yeah, they're going down, which is
Um,
tough,
speaking of
but
going
that's what
down,
it is. Mm,
West Ham.
Mm,
Might be
yeah, I'd
going
go.
down.
Yeah, I'd go down. Oh, never mind. Yeah, they them in Newcastle. I mean, this game pretty.
It's another one of those games that like albeit Almiron scored and I think Gucci played a really good game. Um, but it was a 2-2 draw. Yeah, Gucci must have played a really good game. If you don't know who Gucci is, he's the guy who wears the Gucci headband. Alan St. Maxim. Um,
Okay,
yeah,
I
that's
know Saint Maxim. I've never heard him called Gucci.
dude. He in Nice he used to wear a Gucci headband, and I guess the Premier League was like, "Oh, you need to cover that up." So he just put like a piece of tape over it, and it still looks clean though. Like you can tell it's the same headband he wore whenever he played for Nice, but he just covered up the
That
words Gucci.
man, that man has mad dribbling skills too.
He does. He's a good young player for Newcastle. Everyone's like, "Oh, just wait till they sign Jadon Sancho." Like, that's gonna be a 1-2 punch. Saint Maxim and Jadon Sancho. Oof.
Yeah, if anybody,
If
if
anyone
that,
does,
yeah.
because we all know it's not gonna happen. Totally. But yeah, it was a 2-2 draw. Um,
I mean, it's
frankly,
important for West Ham just because of how close they are to the relegation zone to pick up any points that they can. But I mean, Newcastle aren't too interested in anything. I mean, they've been playing some good football, but it's just, I mean,
they're
they're not.
6 points out of
Don't.
10, so it's not like they're gonna go anywhere with that.
It's
West
it's
Ham
yeah,
are 3 points clear.
it's that point in the season where if you're not in the relegation or in the top half of the table, I mean that like 15 to like 11, 10 maybe, they're not. I mean, the games aren't really that interesting because they know what they're doing. They know they're. Oh, we're gonna be here next year. Well, we'll look forward to next season. At least we got more Premier League football. At least we're gonna be back here.
Right. And for West Ham, that's big because it's been a while since they've been back down there. But West Hammer 3 points clear. They're pretty much on the same level as Watford, just have a better goal differential. And Newcastle are like 13th.
Yeah, I
Not going
imagine.
anywhere.
Imagine West Ham are gonna be safe, but I mean, definitely seen crazier things than a team throwing away 3 points going down.
All we need is for everything to stay the exact same as it is now. And on match day 37, Villa and Bournemouth get a W, and then have all four of them just absolutely grasping it for those last two safe
Well,
spots.
it really is interesting though because I mean not Norwich, West Ham's last few games are against relegation teams that they're battling. Besides Man United, they play Norwich, Watford, and Villa.
Well, Norwich is a free points.
Well, yeah, you'd think so, but you never know. You never know.
I was about to say I know though. Yeah, it was another one of those games. It's like, what's really gonna happen? And the next game though, this one was big for Villa. Liverpool is. I was thinking it was gonna be how many goals can Liverpool put in the back of the net. But apparently not. They only scored twice. But they kept a clean sheet, so I think that's all that matters for them.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was good. It was good for Villa to show some fight though. Like they 2-0 could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better, but they had some fight in them a little bit. Not much,
Dude,
but
hey, they almost beat him in shots on target.
almost.
Almost.
They did their best,
They tried
and
their
that's what's
best.
important.
That's
That's you got to have those positive takeaways when you're on 27 points 34 games into the season.
right, and you got to look at it like Mane scored in the 71st, and Curtis Jones scored in the 89th. So it's
Yeah, they
like
really they held on.
they held on for a little bit, but eventually the floodgates opened. But
Yeah, it's different. I mean, Liverpool have so much. I mean, Liverpool is Liverpool. So, I mean,
right,
there's only so much you can do when you're playing at that level. But
you have an insane amount of talent. You're not going to waste it. Um, Liverpool pretty much, they're probably going to finish Centurions unless something weird happens. But yeah, Liverpool won 2-0. Aston Villa, it looks like they're going to go down more and more every week. You know, looking at the rest of their
yeah,
looking at the rest of their matches, they've got Crystal Palace, which is Everton, which is not Arsenal, and then Villa, or not Villa, West Ham. Villa can't play
which
themselves, which none of them look like winnable games except for West Ham, if I'm honest here.
yeah, I mean, I could see them maybe taking points from Crystal Palace or
Maybe.
Everton.
Maybe Crystal Palace, not Everton. I don't think
I
Everton.
I don't know. Everton hasn't been, I mean, impressing me too much lately, honestly. But
More impressive than Villa, though.
yeah, I guess it doesn't take much.
Right, and it's looking like they might go down. But like I said, all they got to do is on match day 37, nab 3 points off of Arsenal and move up and make it an absolute fucking dog fight. Where winner of West Ham Aston Villa stays up, loser goes down, and
Oh, I'd love to see that.
that would be I'd tune into that. A 10 a.m. game
If I
too.
could.
It's 10 a.m., dude. That's
Well,
doable.
all the games on the final day are at the same time, and NBC only shows one of them
One of
in
them.
America.
Well,
So,
well, on the final day, they normally try to do something like that, where they like, oh yeah, let's show all the games, guys, and then like you gotta scramble through the things and see where it's at. Yeah, they're all at 10 a.m. Crap.
yeah, they come on other, yeah, I think they'll be showing other channels, but I mean showing the games on other channels, but
Well, they'll probably
it,
show games that matter. Oh, Norwich playing Man City on the last day.
yeah,
Uh,
that's tough.
so it doesn't matter. Bournemouth playing Everton, and then who's the other relegation candidate? Where's Aston Villa?
Watford? You
I'm
say
an idiot.
Watford? Watford
Watford are
play
playing
Arsenal.
Watford playing Arsenal. So it's looking like it might not be so spicy, but I'd love to see it be spicy. So you never
Yeah.
know. Speaking of spicy, this next result is
Oof.
spicy.
Chef's kiss.
Sheffield United beat Man City 1-0 after Man City absolutely obliterated the
Southampton,
champions.
not Sheffield United.
Not Sheffield United. Southampton were beat 1-0. Beat Man City 1-0. I got this.
Which
And then
glorious goal.
Man City beat the shit out of Liverpool last week, so no one knows what
Uh,
happened.
that I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Southampton deserves to get the Premier League trophy because if you think about it, Liverpool are Premier League champions. Man City beat Liverpool. Southampton beat Man City. Give them the title, boys.
Nah, man,
Where's their
Watford.
Where's their guard of honor?
Watford
Where's
fan.
Where's my guard of honor?
I still feel bad for every team who plays Liverpool that has to give them a guard of honor.
Mm,
Like Man
yeah.
City, have been the only ones so far that stepped up, and they're like, "Hang on, not our fucking house." But it's a 1-0 win. I didn't see Che Adams'
Hell of a
goal.
goal though.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
heard it
didn't
was a
see it?
banger.
Yeah, he chipped I forgot the name of the keeper, Ederson.
Ederson, yeah.
Yeah, he chipped Ederson from pretty far out, like 40 yards, dude. Like maybe not that far, but I mean it was really far out.
I'll
They
have to go.
regained possession in midfield, and he just had at it.
Oh, so it was one of those goals where the keeper was like, "Oh, sweeper keeper style," and then got chipped.
He wasn't he wasn't being he wasn't being sweeper keeper really. It's just that Man City lost possession right at around midfield, so he was kind of up towards the top of his box, and he didn't expect him to have a shot from there, and he's like, nope,
Ah,
I have at it.
get wrecked. But yeah, Southampton won. It's another game that really means nothing because at this rate, Man City's pretty much leaving it up to a board of people that are going to decide whether they get Champions League football or not. And Southampton, are they just playing for fun? And the last day of match, or the last game of match day 33 was Williams Spurs against Everton, and Tottenham got a 1-0 win here.
Yeah, I was not impressed. It's probably the most pathetic 1-0 win you'll ever see in your entire life.
Oh, I'm looking at the stats now. Tottenham had 2 shots on target.
Yeah, their one goal is an own goal.
Michael Keane scored for the
Came
Man
off a
City.
gnarly deflection from a Lo Celso shot. I mean, they weren't. It, it's not like they were getting battered the whole game and then they stole a 1-0 win because that has some like charm to it, like, oh, they're the underdogs, they only had one shot on target but they made it count, and the team had 20 and they stopped them all. But it was more of just like, does anyone want to win this game? No, an own goal would work. Okay, that's fine.
Right, and it's kind of like, it's another one of those games that is like Neither team has anything to play for because it's looking like Tottenham aren't going to make European football now. Although at the
I
time they might have had the thoughts that they could.
I mean they're still only few points out of 6th. And they
That's
play
Europa League.
Arsenal, so they can definitely hop Arsenal.
They
But
probably could, but Everton don't really have much to play for. But yeah, it was really, obviously, as Will said, a really unimpressive win, I guess. You know, you go in the locker
yeah,
room and Jose probably said, well, shit, boys, why do we keep playing like this?
yeah. Who does anyone want to win? Does anybody care really?
No one
Uh,
knows.
I mean, you could see it. Some players really, you could tell want it more than others. Like Lo Celso, man's an absolute. I love that man. But outside of Lo Celso, Harry Kane and Harry Winks, that's about it. I
Yeah,
mean,
Serge Aurier, or Aurier is an interesting guy.
yeah. I mean,
Just a sigh.
sometimes
That's
he'll
all you need.
sometimes he'll drive forward like he's on some amazing. Just, I mean, he'll drive forward and he'll whip in this ball, and Harry Kane will hit it in, and it'll be the most beautiful goal you've ever seen in your entire life. And then other times he'll like lose possession in his own defensive third, and then I guess just give up. So he's really hit or miss, and most of the time it's miss.
Start walking back to the center line.
Yeah, honestly.
But that's it for match day 33. Let's move on to match day 34. And the first game in match day 34 was Chelsea against Crystal Palace. This low key was a banger of a game.
Low key though, yeah. I mean, Wilfred Zaha always turn. I saw that. Yeah, someone said, "Why does Wilfred Zaha always turn into prime Messi
When he
whenever he
plays
plays
Chelsea.
Chelsea?"
It's because
And
he
it's
wants them to
true.
sign him.
I mean, he's he's been wanting to leave Crystal Palace for the past 3 years, and everyone's just like, we're interested, but like not interested. Interested."
We're not paying that much for you, Wilfie.
He's like that. Yeah, it's like every big club is like a cute girl, and he's the guy that they're like friends with and like kind of talking to, but never getting with. It's real
Right.
sad. It's
But
real sad to watch.
let's just talk about his absolute screamer of a goal that he scored. He
Oh,
it was apparently it was going like 65 miles per hour, and I don't care how good of a goalkeeper you are, that's got to be tough to save. Although it
yeah.
was shot like right above Kepa's head.
Listen, man. I don't care. I mean, I'm not putting my hands on a 65-mile-an-hour shot. I mean,
Without breaking
I
something.
mean, yeah, you gotta tear a hole through my hands. I mean,
But not
it's
only
tough, but maybe you could expect more just because the most expensive keeper in the world.
maybe,
But
but even then it's like wow.
sometimes you gotta sit back and watch.
Right, and another guy who scored in this game, Captain America, Daddy Pulisic.
Father Pulisic. Oh, I love him.
It was a it was a beautiful left-footed strike. It beat the keeper near post, just absolutely wellied it into the top left corner. And then uh Chelsea went up 3-0 in the 70th minute. And I was like, or 3-1 actually. And I was like, that's game. That's a good game. A minute later, Benteke scored from on Van Aanholt. And I was like, maybe not. And in the last minute, Palace hit the inside of the post and it rolled right across the 6-yard box and no one slapped it in the back of the net. I was like, this is just a sign that Chelsea's supposed to finish in the top four. A sign from Lampard himself.
From Lampard himself.
But yeah, Chelsea won 3-2. Chelsea moves further into the top four. Now we can kind of talk about the current table and what it did. Chelsea's third now.
Yeah.
Big for them. Kind of trying to pull away now from that Man United and well, I guess I would say Wolves, but they're 6 points back on Man United now. But kind of trying to pull away from that group now. Um, next game that was played was Watford and Norwich. What did Watford want to do? They wanted to pull away from the rest of the pack. What did they do? They got to play Norwich. So you know what's happening with this one. They're pulling
Yeah.
away.
I mean, they really they got a really kind of generous fixture, I guess. But I mean, you play everyone, so it's just when it falls, I guess that's generous.
Yeah, and this was a game that Norwich scored in the 4th minute. And you're thinking,
Yeah,
oh,
they I
you're thinking,
Buendia
yeah, you're thinking, oh boy, Norwich are gonna get a W here, and then just 5 minutes
im
later, Craig
yeah,
Dawson.
immediate response, just instantly within 5 minutes.
And then you think, maybe not. But Danny Welbeck scored, and that's a man that you always can cheer for no matter where he goes. And it was a bicycle kick too. We got
You'd love to see it.
our first confirmed bicycle kick that I can know off the top of my head of the season, because the other one that happened today was denied by VAR. Uh,
Yeah,
or
you'd love to see it.
since we started the podcast, and you love to
Yeah.
see bicycle kicks. Um, but yeah, this was a win for Watford that they desperately needed. Norwich,
Mhm.
it just they just keep confirming that they're gonna get
Yeah,
relegated.
every game seems to be, yeah, they're confirming they're going down. You know, it's just every week in, week out. Yeah, Norwich is going down, I guess. I guess they're going down.
Right, and it's sad to see, but we'll see what happens with Watford. This is exactly what I wanted to happen. Though, I want to have a four-way battle on the last
Oh
day.
yeah, you love to see the battle goes down to the wire.
Right. Um, the next game.
Heart. Yeah.
Oh wait, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's heartbreaking when it goes down to the wire for the fans, but
Yeah, it's like in the 90th minute, team scores, and you're
the
thinking,
drama,
nah.
I need it.
But as a neutral, we need this.
Yeah.
Um, the next game, Arsenal and Leicester drew 1-1. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Jamie Vardy were scored.
Yeah. Arsenal finished with 10 men.
That is true. Apparently, Vardy was supposed to be sent off. I didn't see it, but
I watched, yeah, which, by the way, that red card for, I don't know how to say his name,
Enkedia, Enkedia,
yeah, yeah, definite red card. Like,
what do you do? Throw an elbow?
no, he just went in like studs up, just karate kicked, flying ninja kick to win the ball at midfield within like 5 minutes of coming
Yeah,
on
yeah,
too,
yeah.
I think.
And that's something I don't understand. How in within 5 minutes you're able to muster up enough energy to go in, freaking scissors, slide in, chop kick, give me your ankles, kid, kind of
Listen,
goal.
I don't. I don't think if I you think how long if I was on if they subbed you on in a professional match, what's the quickest you think you'd get a red card? It might take me a few minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I think I need at least a few minutes. I guess that's why they're professionals, huh? You can get it in like 5.
I think around professionals. Dude, I mean, in all honesty, it wouldn't be that hard. As immediately as soon as I get subbed on, just throw an elbow at someone, and then boom, you're sent off.
I guess, but I meant more of like making a tackle.
Oh, like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think I think I could play the entire game and not even get a whiff of the ball. Like I'd be sprinting after the ball to tackle someone and couldn't get it.
Actually, 2 tactical fouls back to back. Boom, baby. That's a red.
There you go. I just take all the throw-ins and do, yeah, back-to-back time wasting. There you go.
But it was this game. Leicester, I would say they kind of needed. They're 1 point clear of Man United right now. Arsenal kind of needed this to be a win to move closer to
Yeah,
Europa League, but
real missed opportunity with that red card at the end.
right. And also Jamie Vardy scored kind of late, so
Yeah, 84th minute.
they also could have saved it there. But um, that was all for the Tuesday games. Trying to think.
Hmm.
Okay, so Tuesday is the day I went to the doctor and I got a shot. Right. I didn't sleep at all Tuesday night,
Yeah,
so
and then you moaned
I'm.
about it for the next 3 days.
I was texting everyone like, dude, this shit hurts. I am feeling like crap. So I missed all the Wednesday games.
He was in
But
too much pain from getting a shot
hey,
to
no, 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 no,
watch
no, no, no,
TV.
no. Let me defend myself here. I
Hmm.
got, I got the meningococcal B shot, which you don't know what it is. You got to get a first one, then you got to get a booster. Both times it gave me a fever and like bad fatigue, and I was like,
Yeah, dude, you
what?
totally have whatever that disease is that you just named. Like, you have something wrong with you. You
No, no,
shouldn't
no,
that
no, no,
shouldn't
no, no,
happen.
no, no. And I looked up the side effects of getting the vaccine, and apparently that's like there's some regular side effects. Like, oh yeah, it's good to prevent these diseases, but like the side effects are you get a fever. I was like, that shouldn't be a side effect of getting it or of getting a shot. Like,
I've
shouldn't you shouldn't
I've
get sick
never
off the shot.
I have never heard of that.
Look, just Google it a little later and you'll figure it out. But anyway, back to the games here.
Okay.
Burnley won 1-0 against West Ham. Uh,
Which RIP West Ham.
Absolutely predictable. Just move it. It's setting up perfectly. I'm saying all this, and in the next match week or in the next two match weeks, it's gonna be like West
Done and
Ham's gonna
dusted.
win out, and like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be confirmed relegations. Everyone's gonna be confirmed Champions League, and we're gonna have absolutely fucking nothing to
Listen,
talk about.
you gotta speak it into existence. You
I'm
gotta
speaking it into existence. We will have a
yeah, there you go.
Champions League battle and a relegation battle on the last day, and it's gonna be absolutely beautiful.
I'm
Um,
100% for that.
But Burnley won. Frankly, every game Burnley plays just seems to be an absolute sleeper of a game. So the fact they put this one early as fluke means not many people. Well, it wasn't early. It was 12. It was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Um,
Yeah, but you weren't awake because you were in your flu shot coma.
yeah, I actually was. um, the next game, Manchester City absolutely freaking wellied, and I mean
Yeah,
wellied.
I mean, listen,
Gave him
the
the straight up willy.
outside of Sheffield and Wolves, the Wednesday games were kind of underwhelming. I mean, really all the midweek games this week kind of underwhelming, except for maybe Arsenal and Leicester. I mean, Chelsea and Crystal Palace was a pretty good game, but you knew Chelsea was going to come away with it. They were up 3-1. Crystal Palace kind of made it interesting late.
Yeah,
But
and
these midweek games have not been too interesting this week.
yeah, no, they've all been really predictable. But Manchester City won 5-0. Um, I mean,
Right when we were like, Newcastle's really there. I mean, Newcastle's kind of impressing me, and they're kind of showing some good form. And then beat Bournemouth, beat up on Bournemouth. I mean, sure they struggled with West Ham, but West Ham, they gave a good fight against City, 2-0. It could be no, it could be worse. And
yeah,
then
and I
then
mean,
5-0.
just 5-0, just absolutely freaking wellied them. And I mean, it's sort of that reconfirmation thing of Newcastle really doesn't have much to play for, and so it's like, um, it's just kind of weird, man.
It's
Um,
kind of weird.
it's not
I
actually
I'm a
that weird.
I'm gonna be on. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. 5-0 win for Manchester City against Newcastle is one of the least weird things. I'm not. I'm very unsurprised that Manchester City is picking up where they left off, considering there's no difference between playing in an empty Etihad and a full one for them. Because
Because they always
it's
do
never
play in an
full.
empty one.
Yeah, it's always full. So, I mean, it's always empty. Yeah, so it's like it's not much of a difference for them.
But in the next
Goodness.
game, Sheffield United escaped. Oh,
Oh yeah.
they ran out of Bramall Lane with 3 points on a
John
last.
Egan, back-to-back goal scorer. Look at that. The big
the,
man getting it done.
the only
I
people
tell
that
you
score
what.
on Sheffield United are defenders at this point now. That's
I
why their
mean,
goal difference is so like that's how they've scored so little goals. It's because they score them and then they get back and they don't let them score. Um,
listen.
but this is the
I'm
second game in a row for Wolves that they needed to win and they didn't get it.
Did John Egan play for Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm off on a John Egan tangent right now. Did he play for Lyon?
No,
Who did he play for?
no,
Does he always play for Sheffield?
I would bet honestly I've never heard of him until he came up with Sheffield.
I know I've heard of him before. All right, keep talking. Hold on.
But yeah, Sheffield United won 1-0 against Wolves. A win for Sheffield United meant maybe they can redeem themselves and kind of get back into European competition. Meanwhile, Wolves are making it ever easier for people to catch up to them in European qualification, or the European League, or the Europa League qualification stage.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I have absolutely zero idea why I know who this man is.
Who do you play for?
I mean, he's played for Sunderland, Crystal Palace, Sheffield, Bradford, Southend United, all like League Two, League One championship loans. Then he played for Gillingham in League One. Then he played for Brentford in the championship, and then he came to Sheffield United in 2018.
Yeah, he definitely. You know him definitely because of Sunderland. Telling you now, you know him because of Sunderland, probably.
There's no way that was in 2011, dude.
Oh yeah, never mind.
I must have did like a career mode on FIFA where I played with Brentford or something, and he was like an absolute key player for me or something. I don't know. I know this man. Anyway, John Egan
Anyway,
and
John
rant
Egan
over.
scored. That's pretty much all we're gonna talk about in the Sheffield United Wolves game.
Sheffield's only 1 point back of Wolves now after that win. After
Right,
that big John Egan performance,
big John
93rd
Egan
minute.
fans. And then
You gotta love him.
the next game we won't talk too much about because there's other enticing games that we still have to hit.
And it's
Uh,
like, who cares?
yeah, it's like who cares
Liverpool have won the
anyway.
league. Brighton aren't going down, but they're not going up either. I mean,
Right, Liverpool won 3-1. Absolute welly. Mo Salah scored two. That's all you need to know about it. Now we'll move on to the games that happened yesterday because we're filming this at 1 in the morning.
mhm. Which not ideal for
Not
my running
ideal.
schedule because now I have to run at like 2 in the morning.
Hey, as long as you don't get kidnapped, you're fine. But
Listen, I think I'm not worried about getting kidnapped. I'm worried about a possum biting me and getting rabies.
guess that's kind of something you got to worry about. But anyway, back to today's action. Everton drew 1-1 with Southampton. This is another one of those games that I would have watched it if it was on TV because anything was better than the disgrace they put on national television today in that time slot.
Mhm.
Um, but Everton drew 1-1 with Southampton. Richarlison scored a penalty. Uh, Southampton were given a penalty that probably wasn't a penalty, and ball don't lie. They slammed the penalty against the post, and then just scored 2 minutes later. Danny Ings got his goal. Because he always scores for.
Danny Ings had a nice goal. Those, I mean, did you see it?
I'm thinking of the Ruben Loftus-Cheek goal right now. I don't know why I can't think of it.
I mean, he had a nice little touch to
Oh, I remember it now.
the ball over the top.
All the Everton players thought he was offsides. He wasn't. Um,
Nice
because
goal.
I don't know why people still raise their hands for offsides. It's like keep playing. If he was offsides, VAR will show it.
Yeah, I understand because I mean I used to play defense and I would raise my hand for offsides too,
I did
but
it too. So
we didn't have VAR, okay? I just had to yell at the ref. I'm like, you idiot.
right, and it's like in high school soccer or middle school soccer. I guess not really in middle school, but in high school soccer, you have kids that are almost your age refing your games. So if you yell at them a good bit, you might be able to get your point across to him that he was
Yeah.
offsides.
And it's like if they're not your age, they're probably an old man and I guarantee I could beat up this old man. So it's like
It's like, don't try me,
listen, give me the offsides call.
and we'll
I
fix
won't
it.
beat you up in front of your grandkids.
But I guess uh, this is another game that is mid-table. Nothing really matters from it, and they drew. So what's the real point? The next game,
Yeah.
though,
Good.
absolute shite of a game.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm still looking at John Egan pictures. This man is never mind.
You need to stop looking at John Egan pictures.
I like John Egan now.
I'm signing him on every single career mode I play
I
from
tell you
here
what, he's
on.
only 27. He's got a lot of potential.
Oh yeah.
He's Irish. Anyway,
Anyway, on to
are we on
the
Tottenham now?
yeah we're on Tottenham. You
Hey, what the hell?
can...
I mean, I'm
this
gonna be
is
honest. I've never seen anything more lifeless in my entire. I've been to funerals that were more lively than this game. Okay, I don't know where to even start. You know, the last time a team failed to register a shot on target against Bournemouth,
when
2015 in the championship. What? That's the last time a team failed to put a shot on target against Bournemouth.
I didn't even
Nine
realize it.
over 100 minutes, 100 minutes of football against Bournemouth. They've conceded 9 goals in their last 2 games. Not a single shot on target.
I don't know. I don't know what happened because I was watching the game and it literally it now thinking about it, it literally didn't look like Tottenham put a single shot on target. So I mean, I guess I can understand it. And then Callum Wilson, lucky ass Tottenham got the goal disallowed by VAR, but what a fucking bicycle kick! It's a shame because it was
Yeah.
going in either way, but it just slaps like King's hand on the way through, and I was like, oh, he's gotta feel gutted there. And then they had like a great chance in like the 97th minute because this game went to the 102nd minute, but
Yeah, because who was it that died?
uh,
Someone died on the pitch.
um, I'm actually gonna kind of
Smith?
it was
Smithy?
Adam Smith. And before
Yeah.
we say anything, I just want to check and see, is he
No,
okay?
he's fine. He's fine. He was having some banter with Harry Kane whenever they brought him off the pitch, and I believe Harry Kane responded, "You're still ugly, Smithy."
uh, oh, here we go. Let's get an Bournemouth posted an injury update. So I just want to look at this real quick because this injury is actually really scary. Because
Yeah, he was out cold on the pitch.
they immediately ran over to him and like
Yeah,
immediately started like telling people like, "Get the fuck out here, boys! This is not
which
good."
honestly, the most exciting part of this limp dick of a game.
Yeah, you can talk about the game and your thoughts on it because my thoughts are it's a shite game and it
I don't
fucking.
have anything to say except for everything that I have to say that I'm not allowed to say because might be inappropriate. Uh, just, I mean, lifeless. I already said, limp dick of a game. Uh, Not much desire. What else could I say? Uh,
um,
it was like, I don't know. It was like a it looked like they were getting paid a minimum wage to work at Taco Bell with how much they wanted to be out there. They're just like, I'm kind of just here for a paycheck and then I go home. Okay. And it's like, but you're a professional that plays the sport for millions of dollars. And but you're like instead you're acting like the guy that gets my Doritos Locos Tacos order wrong. And so
at 3 a.m.
I mean yeah, after at 2 a.m. after I get bit by a possum while running, getting my goddamn quesarito wrong.
You're speaking it
I
into existence today. You're gonna get bit by a possum.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get rabies too. And you know what? I don't give a damn. I'm gonna freaking die of rabies, and it'll be more enjoyable than watching Tottenham play Bournemouth and not get a single damn shot on target.
Anyways, there's not much more to say about the game.
Anyway,
I read it on Adam Smith.
come on.
They're
I
gonna
love
continue to
Tottenham.
update it. So if you want to know what happens out of it, just check Twitter, because that's the most reliable place to get some news nowadays. Um,
Don't know about reliable.
uh,
You'll get news for sure. I got all kinds of news on Twitter. Found out I was gay by looking at Twitter today. This dude just said, "You're gay," and I was just like, "Shit."
Twitter is a magical place. Anyway, on to the last game of the day. Man United beat the shit out of Aston Villa 3-0.
Yeah.
Uh, Fucking, is there much to say? Oh, there is something to say actually. Bruno Fernandez, that was not a penalty. Uh, you do not
Yeah.
you do not get a penalty for stepping on someone. And
Which
everyone in the Twitter comment section was like, "Oh, well, the dude was impeding on the ball." I'm sorry, you want me just to give you a free open shot and let you step
listen,
on me?
not to take anything away, Bruno Fernandes has been playing great. He's been a really good signing. He's a bit of a set piece merchant, isn't he? I
He
mean,
really
lots
is actually.
penalties and free kicks, a bit of a set piece merchant.
uh,
But I mean, he's been fantastic. Obviously, I mean
I mean, yeah, I mean,
memeing on him.
he's been
He's
he's been a
really
great
good.
signing for Man United. He's really been a real spark for their team. He's been working well with Paul Pogba. But that all being said, that wasn't a fucking penalty. Anyway,
No,
let's move on.
I
He
don't think
also
so.
got an assist in this game to Paul Pogba. Mason Greenwood scored. Big surprise. Man United won 3-0. Aston Villa are just making it to where they can make a move on the last day and then lose to West Ham and still get relegated. That's all for our Premier League action this week. Other leagues, the only other league we want to check up on is Championship. Leads are going up. I'm telling you, leads are going up, boys. They've done
Let's
it.
go, baby.
They haven't
I
done
mean,
it yet, but let's
no,
speak
they
of it when we
haven't
see
done
it
it.
soon.
But listen, I mean, they're only 1 point ahead of West Brom, but
They're going up.
they're
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 going up.
6 points ahead of third. So they're looking good. But they had 5-0 win yesterday,
Yeah, they won like 5-0 against Stoke. Absolutely
yeah,
wellied them.
and not much has changed in the top six. Same top 6 from,
last time. But
last time.
whenever that eventually is into the absolute chaos of what's going to be the
Oh,
last
but
couple
Hull City has
picks.
was Hull City I think it was Stoke City that was in, the relegation zone, but now it's Hull City switched with them, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think Stoke and Hull switched spots in relegation zone.
But this is the Two Footballs podcast, and right now we do talk a lot about
Ooh.
the everywhere but America football kind of thing. But there also I've said but a lot in the last 30 seconds. There also was some NFL news and some college football news. I'll cover this college football news just really quickly. We don't know how much we're going to talk about college football, but we still want to talk about it. The Big Ten today decided that they're going to do a conference only matchups for their fall
Yeah.
sports, which absolutely is just signaling the beginning of the end. Because as soon as they
Yeah,
all go to conference only, this shit's gonna be boring as hell. The college football playoffs won't even happen. Um, or maybe they will. Who knows? But everyone's gonna have at least one loss
yeah, I don't think college football or college sports in general
or happening in
without
the fall.
fans, especially college football. I mean, because college football for a lot of universities makes all the you can't have other sports without college football because college football is what brings in the money pretty much, and you can't have college football without the fans because in college they rely on ticket sales. I believe close to 50% of the revenue comes from ticket sales in college football, just because obviously jersey sales aren't as big because they can't put players' names on them and stuff. So
Right, and
yeah, I think it's 50% of the revenue. Yeah, comes from or over 50% of revenue comes from ticket sales for college sports, and with no fans, it's just not worth it if you're missing out on 50% of your revenue.
right, and uh, this also might be a good thing for college football, as Notre Dame might actually join a fucking conference if all the
Honestly,
teams go to conference only, then Notre Dame might just join a conference and stay there. Because, yeah, they need to do it. I saw that tweet earlier. Someone said coronavirus is actually a good thing because it's gonna force Notre Dame to join a conference. But that's it for college football. Oh, and the Ivy League canceled all fall sports. So
yeah.
I said
Which I
that
mean,
was the beginning of the end for it. Um, onto the NFL news. Big news.
oh, was there news? Was there something big that happened?
There was
Was there
something.
something massive, giant, huge, amazing that happened?
There was actually two things in news because there was something else I just remembered today, and we'll talk about this first because I think it's retarded. Um, well, not. I think it's stupid. The NFL
Nice.
banned on-field jersey exchanges during the 2020 season.
I
What a stupid
listen.
ruling.
It is strange considering especially the offensive and defensive linemen are essentially gonna be like grabbing each other's tits for 60 minutes and just like banging their heads against each other. So it is strange, but I guess they're trying. I don't know.
It's like, well,
At least you tried.
it's like I hope they change jerseys how much they touch each other because their own DNA and their own slobbering and shit's
Listen,
gonna be on another person's jersey.
it's like yeah, it's like when they tackle each other, they're like on top of each other, like rubbing all up against one another, like yelling and spitting on each other, like men do. You know, you and your boys spitting on each other after you make a good tackle, slap him on his ass, spit in his mouth. It's what you do. It's football. It's gonna happen. And yeah, I mean, if it's not safe for them to exchange jerseys, then it's probably not safe for them to play, which is you know, if you can't guarantee that the players are COVID free when they're on the pitch, I guess not on the pitch, on the field. You know what I mean? Wrong football. There you go.
Well, this is two
They're on the field.
footballs.
Then it's like, why are they playing if you can't make sure that they're safe? Anyway, that's
Anyway,
just
yeah, it's a little tidbit of news, but the thing we're asking now about like people who are like, why are you playing? Someone now has a really big reason to play. Big reason because he's gonna be making
Mm.
$500 million over the next 10 years. Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs dropped a bomb on
Well,
this
actually,
contract.
it's a 10-year deal, but he had 2 years on his contract, so it's actually 12 years for 503 million in
Still,
total.
it's absolutely fucking mental.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? This is not a take that, or maybe it is a take that you see. I don't know. Uh, it's a good deal for the Chiefs. Like Patrick Mahomes might get the bad end of this bargain. Like,
Explain.
I mean, listen, when you're making $500 million, it's like, okay, there's no such thing as a bad end of this deal, I guess. But the way that the salary cap works, and I guess it does entirely rely on how long it takes to get back to make 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 up their COVID losses. But he's the contract is not cap tied, which would mean instead of setting aside instead of signing a contract that says we're gonna pay you 30% of the cap because the cap changes. Like it goes up. It generally goes up. It's probably gonna go down after the season because of COVID, but it generally goes up. And so him signing such a long-term contract and it's not cap tied, we say, oh, he's gonna be making 40 million. But I mean, by the time his contract expires, half the league's gonna be making 40 million. It's not he's gonna be like the
I
the
get
10th
it.
highest paid quarterback.
He'll
I
be
mean, if
behind
you look
Dak
at
Prescott by then.
yeah, well, I mean, if you look at Drew Brees, Drew Brees, he became the highest paid quarterback in 2012, I think. Around that time, he became the highest paid quarterback. He was making 20 million a year, or close to 20 million a year. I think it might have been a little less. I'm not exactly sure the exact details, but now, literally over half of the league is making that much money. Literally, I think it was. I believe it's 17 quarterbacks are making over 20 million a year. So, I mean, and that's less than 10 years later. So if you look at it, if it keeps increasing at this rate, he's making 45 million, which might be the most for the next, 3 or 4 years. By the time he's going into this 5th year of his contract, he might be the sixth highest paid quarterback, and then he might become worse and worse. Which I mean, that might be all right because he might not be. I mean, he could get like I don't know, break his leg or something, and not be back to being as good as he is now. But if he keeps being the best quarterback in the league by a wide margin, he might get the short end of this deal, honestly.
That maybe could be true. But either way, he's gonna be fucking laughing to the bank. And
Yeah, you're not gonna complain about half. I mean, the richest contract in North American sports history.
right,
Like,
and also just put something else out there. Jackson Mahomes, his brother, who posts a lot of TikToks, right? I don't know what else he does outside of lives. I think TikTok's his only thing. If TikTok gets shut down, he could just, go to his brother Patrick, be like, "Hey man, you got a little extra money to spare? Can I come live with you maybe?" Um, but that's just like a little tangent. But Patrick Mahomes is pretty much set. Um, yeah. Is there anything else we got to talk about this week? Anything other NFL news? I actually think that's it. Um, yeah, so that's all we got this week for the Two Footballs podcast. I'm trying to hear what happened to William. It looks like we might have lost William here at the end. But I guess we'll close it out here. So yeah, we'd like to thank everyone here who listened and gave us a little listen here. We are just doing strictly YouTube until, maybe things get better and we can go to Spotify or something like that. But yeah, we'd like to thank everyone for listening. If you're hearing this, and you like it, give it a like. Leave a comment on what we probably could do better because we thought last week we're a little too like sitting in a news office, being bored talking about it. So this week we try to be a little loosey goosey with it. Um, but yeah, if you like what you see and you can't wait for more, do subscribe. It looks like the Discord machine did break. But yeah, we hope you all join us next week. For now, this is Spencer signing off. William is not here, but Will is signing off as well. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we shall see you next week.